Yes, we could see that Bitcoin found perfect support at the 200 moving average, exactly where I told you we're most probably going to see a consolidation, and we pumped all the way back up to the 22,600 US dollars, to this resistance and also this upward sloping trend where we saw this dump towards the downside. So guys, are we going to see a continuation and a further move towards the upside, coming all the way back up above this trend line? Guys, we're going to look at the overall market situation, because yes, later today we're going to see an emergency meeting from the Fed. So what could we expect? We're going to look at all of these information. So if you want to find out more, watch the video until the end, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly, activate the bell so that you always stay up to date. Welcome back to B for Crypto, and yes guys, we nearly reached 1000 subscribers, and if you're still watching this video and you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe exactly now. And guys, I appreciate each one of you. So let's go over to the technical analysis and let's start on the daily chart for Bitcoin. And as you guys can see, we are perfectly at this resistance at the 22,600 US dollars. So guys, we could expect that yes, Bitcoin is going to break this resistance towards the upside, because we had this major move towards the upside. And let's find out how much percentage we went towards the upside. So we can see we reached the low round about the levels of 19,544, and we came all the way back up to this level. This was a pump of 15.4%. So guys, we could expect that yes, the bulls are in control and we're going to see this move over this trend line again. But guys, we really have to be careful, because yes, we're going to see an emergency meeting from the Fed and we could expect a major volatility. So maybe we're going to see a fake out towards the downside and a push towards the upside. But we really have to find out what is going to happen from the Fed. Are we going to see a pivot, or are we going to see a 25 basis point rate hike? Guys, we're going to look at all of this information, but first let's go on the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, we can see that yes, we had this downward sloping trend and we saw several rejections of this trend line, and then we saw this dump towards the downside, losing this very important trend line, and then we could see that Bitcoin turned around. But at the moment we had this major important level, this major resistance round about these levels, where we could see yes, we have this downward sloping trend and we have reached this trend line once again. So are we going to see this breakthrough? Yes guys, I think that we're most probably going to see this break. And why? We're going to find out where would be our price target if we're going to drag the Fibonacci retracement tool all the way from the top all the way to the bottom. We can see that the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level is round about the levels of 23,100 US dollars, where we also had this previous support, and support turns into resistance, and this would be the most likely scenario that we're going to see that Bitcoin will come all the way back up to the 61.8, and then we're going to see this retracement and the bounce of this very important trend line and see it as support, and then we could expect that the price of Bitcoin will see a major pump towards the upside, coming all the way back up to the 78.6, which is round about the 24,000 US dollar level. But guys, this could be the scenario for Bitcoin at the moment. But if we're going to see this rejection, we could expect that yes, Bitcoin could come all the way back down to this very important support, and maybe we're then going to see the continuation towards the upside. But it will all depend what the Federal Reserve will say in this emergency meeting. But guys, let's go over to the news to find out what is going to happen in the overall market. Emergency Fed meeting could set tone for crypto market direction. Emergency Fed meeting decision could affect the market direction in the coming week. James Bull thinks that the Fed might lower interest rates to protect more banks from collapsing. Crypto prices could pump or dump depending on the actual CPI figures expected on Tuesday. So guys, yes, we could expect some major volatility during today and also tomorrow, as we have the CPI report coming out. Federal Reserve Board of Governors fixed a closed-door emergency meeting on March the 13th. According to an announcement, the policymaker institution proposed the review of determination by the Board of Governors of advance and discount rates to be changed by the Federal Reserve banks. Prevailing public opinion suggested that the financial authorities fixed the emergency meeting because of the sudden collapse of Silicon Valley Bank SIVB, whose assets has been seized by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation (FDIC). The SIVB collapse is unprecedented and represents the second largest bank failure in the history of the United States. It is the largest bank failure since the infamous financial crisis of 2008. SIVB went down last Friday, throwing the banking sector into panic heading into the weekend. The full extent of the damage done by the industry is yet to be realized, as the status of billions of dollars of uninsured deposits is unknown heading into the new week. So yes guys, this is a major problem, and we are seeing that these major banks are collapsing, and we could see this major bank run in the United States over the weekend. But guys, let's go on. Yes guys, we're having the CPI report coming out tomorrow, and at the moment we have a forecast of 6% from the previous 6.4. So guys, are we going to see that the inflation is actually coming down, and we could expect a pivot from the Fed? But what is going to be very important is the core consumer price index, the CPI. And we could expect, yes guys, we have a forecast of 5.5% and we had a previous reading of 5.6. So yes, could we expect that the overall inflation is coming down, and this could be a bullish indication for the overall markets, and that the Federal Reserve will pivot or stop with these major rate hikes? Because guys, it's obvious, it's destroying the industry and it's destroying all of these banks. Because yes guys, at the moment we have a forecast that we're going to see a 25 basis point rate hike, and yes, last week we saw that we have a higher possibility that we're going to see a 50 basis point rate hike. So yes, it will all depend what are we going to see from the Federal Reserve emergency meeting. Are we going to see a pivot, or are we going to see that the Federal Reserve will first destroy the whole economy and then start to pivot? Or are we going to see a pivot before we're actually going to see a major financial collapse? But guys, let's go back over to the charts. And yes, over on the 4-hour chart, we can see that Bitcoin is trying to break this very important level, the $22,600 US. And guys, if we're going to see this breakout towards the upside, I could expect that yes, we're going to come all the way back up to the $23,450 US, where we also saw this major rejection. So yes guys, I think that we're going to break this level rather sooner than later, and that we're going to see this consolidation over this very important trend line, and that we could expect this next move even higher. Because guys, it is clear, all the banks are collapsing and Bitcoin is your way out. Yes guys, maybe we're going to see a major rollout from CBDCs, but guys, the only way to protect your wealth is through Bitcoin. And that's why buy Bitcoin exactly now. And if you want to get a major deposit bonus, make sure to go in the video description below and sign up with my BITGET link. And make sure to smash up the like button and subscribe and be for crypto. And we see each other in the next video.